Have you ever caught yourself thinking that you just don't want to do anything? Everything seems fine, but somehow there's no energy, no interest, zero motivation.
Of course. I think everyone's been there. And the big question is, where do you find it? That mysterious motivation we all think is supposed to show up before we start doing things.
Exactly. And that's the first trap, waiting for motivation. People think of it like a spark, like inspiration. That it'll just drop from the sky, and boom, suddenly you're off changing your life. But it doesn't show up.
And it's not supposed to. Because motivation isn't the cause of action, it's the result. It shows up after you start doing something. Even the tiniest step.
That's a huge insight. People think they need energy, inspiration, big goals, then they'll move. But really, it's the other way around. Movement first. Then comes energy.
Let me give you an example. Say you want to start running. You sit at home, procrastinating, waiting for motivation. It never comes. Now imagine you just get up, put on your shoes, and run 500 meters. You come back and suddenly you feel it. Hey, that was good. That's when motivation kicks in.
Because you've told your brain, I'm someone who acts. And your brain picks up on that. It says, okay, you've started, let's keep going.
And here's the first unconventional tip, don't wait to feel ready. Create micro-actions. Tiny ones. Just make coffee and open your laptop. Just take your running shoes out. Just write one sentence.
It's the 2-minute rule. Do a task that takes 2 minutes. Don't aim for the big goal. The goal is just to start. And once you start, momentum takes over.
You know, we think of ourselves as rational beings. But really, we're creatures of ritual. What we need is to design the right ritual. Link an action to a trigger. Like, every day after brushing your teeth, write one line in a journal. Or after morning coffee, stretch for 5 minutes. It becomes automatic.
Totally. Another thing that kills motivation? Chasing big outcomes. We focus so much on the finish line. When I lose 10 kilograms, when I make my first million, when I speak fluent English. So we miss the value of small wins.
But it's the small wins that build inner strength. You can't build a house from the roof down. You have to lay brick by brick. And that's when you start to feel, I'm in control. I'm building. That's empowering.
Want a raw life technique? Keep a success journal. Every evening, write down 3 things you accomplished that day. Even if it's small, washed dishes, called grandma, did 5 push-ups. Your brain starts seeing, you're not lazy. You're someone who acts.
It gives you feedback. Because in today's world we're overwhelmed with incoming info, but we get no feedback from ourselves. We don't register wins. Only failures.
Exactly. And here's another thing. The brain notices what's unusual. That's why it's important to step out of your comfort zone now and then. To signal to yourself, I'm capable of more.
And that leads to another huge factor, your environment. You can be super mindful, but if you're surrounded by people who don't grow or support initiative, you'll sink.
Yeah. There's that saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Want to change yourself? Change your circle. Or at least find one inspiring person. It could even be a podcast, a blog, a video, a book.
a mentor, even a virtual one. It works. And here's another thing, energy is not infinite. You might have motivation, but if you're burned out, nothing will help.
Totally. So here's the next tip: energy hygiene. That means sleep, nutrition, movement, and rest. Without that, your brain switches to survival mode. It can't act.
Here's another thought. People say they lack motivation, but often they're just afraid. Afraid of failure. Afraid of judgment. Afraid they won't make it. Fear blocks action like a virus.
Yes. And that's not about motivation. It's about acceptance. Say to yourself, yes, I'm scared. Yes, I might screw up. But that doesn't make me worse. It's just experience. Walk with fear, not against it.
Try this exercise. Write down all your fears related to a project or goal. Then write, what's the worst that could happen? And suddenly it doesn't seem so bad. Often, it's just awkwardness. Or what others think. But you won't die.
Exactly. Then write what you'll do if that worst thing happens. A plan B. And your brain relaxes. Okay, we've got this. Then it's easier to start.
Want a powerful technique? Imagine you'll get no reward. No likes, no recognition, no money. You're doing it just because you can't not do it. What's left? What would you choose?
That's true internal motivation. When you're not driven by external stuff. When you live from flow, not from expectation. That creates the deepest strength.
And finally, motivation doesn't come from the outside. You can't be inspired into it. You have to build it. Like a bridge. Brick by brick. Through action. Through honesty. Through resilience.
Because in the end, you are not a result. You are a process. And if things are hard right now, that's okay. Just take one step. That's how change begins.
And let this podcast be that first step.
After that, you know what to do.